Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So reports have been circulating out in the English press saying that Porto have offered Alex Telles to Manchester United. Now Alex Telles has 10 months left on his current contract at Porto, so obviously from a Porto perspective they'll want to cash in for him now rather than letting go on a free next year. Porto have revealed their asking price. They do want around £27 million. Now it did recently say that Alex Telles' agent was in Manchester to thrash out a deal for his client to join Manchester United. Now PSG did turn down the opportunity to sign him. I think Chelsea have also been interested in him before. Alex Telles is a left back, and I said, didn't I, know it'd be very, very beneficial if Manchester United can get a left back in. We have got two predominant left backs at the moment, and that's obviously Luke Shaw. He's our first choice left back, but obviously he's too injury prone. And obviously Brandon Williams, he's our backup left back. We've also got Diego Dalot and Timothy Fosu-Mensah that can be deployed as left backs. Now, Alex Telles has been at Porto for around 4 years. Obviously, Porto got him in 2016. I think they paid around €6.5 million for him. Before he was at Porto, he had a loan spell with Inter Milan. Before he was at Inter Milan, he was at Galatasaray. Before then, he was at Romero, and I think when he was a lot younger, he played for Juventud. He is the age of 27, is the player. So, that is the breaking news on him. Also, I think it was Duncan Castles that had revealed that he's been offered to Manchester United. Obviously, Sergio Reguilón from Real Madrid, he's been another left-back on our agenda, but we have not yet made our decision on Sergio Reguilón. And it says Sergio Reguilón now to Man United could be off because Real Madrid have said that they want to insert a buyback clause in any deal. Now, I want to delve into some news on Paul Pogba. So, the news is on Paul Pogba. He has returned to training with Manchester United. He has recovered from COVID-19. So, this is very, very good news for Paul Pogba and his family and for Manchester United in general. Paul Pogba did miss France's games against Croatia and Sweden because obviously he had the virus. Now, I think we've got to get Paul Pogba a new long-term contract at the football club, obviously to end the uncertainty over his future, because Paul Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. It's very imperative that we do keep him at the football club, because I thought towards the end of last season, Paul Pogba was exceptional, and his combination with Bruno Fernandes was very, very good. I thought he did well in some of our Europa League games, but for the vast majority of last season, didn't really have a perception on Paul Pogba because he was out with that ankle injury. He has sustained a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Now, obviously, this season is going to be his 5th season at the football club since rejoining from Juventus back in 2016. We did pay £89 million for the player, so as it stands at the moment, he is our most expensive signing. Pogba's just got under a year left on his current contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. He did recently say that Pogba was refusing to sign a new contract at Man United because he's waiting for his former club Juventus to put an offer in. There is still a slight chance he could leave Man United in January, but I don't see it happening. Pogba's agent Mini Raiola a few weeks ago, he said that Paul Pogba will stay at Man United this summer and he will hold negotiations over a new contract. Fabrizio Romano did reveal quite a few weeks ago now that Paul Pogba is happy at Manchester United and he said he wants to stay at Manchester United. A few weeks before the end of last season, it said he was close to signing a 5-year contract with the football club. You know, Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, we was very critical of him earlier on this year. Main explanation is because he publicly criticised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United. So far, Pogba's won 2 trophies at the football club, and that was the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. Paul Pogba, don't forget, did enjoy a difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, but all our top players enjoyed a difficult time under the Mourinho era. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under Ferguson. You can say we made a mistake getting rid of him, but we got rid of him due to limited appearances. We let him go on a 3 to Juventus. But around this time last year, Pogba did make an admission saying that he wanted to leave Manchester United because he was seeking for a new challenge, and he was relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. He was talking a lot about Real Madrid and Zinedine Zidane. You know, but I think he will stay at Manchester United, will Paul Pogba. Now, you already know the news on Jadon Sancho. I give you the news on Jadon Sancho this morning on the video that I did. Manchester United are confident that Sancho will be ready for the Crystal Palace game. That means he could be making his debut for the club against Crystal Palace on the opening day of the Premier League season. Sancho has had private negotiations with Solskjaer, and he's reportedly told him that he wants to play for the football club. Now, Fabrizio Romano has said that the personal terms and the agent fees have been agreed with Sancho. Also, a contract worth £250,000 a week has been agreed. This will make him the 3rd highest paid player at Manchester United behind De Gea and Paul Pogba. We have submitted a £90 million bid. There is a further £18 million due in performance-related add-ons. Reportedly, we're going to pay this fee, though, over the course of the next 2 to 3 years. So we are going to pay it in instalments. Now, Mike Phelan, who's our assistant, he recently said that Manchester United could be closing in on a deal for Sancho, because Mike Phelan's been following him on Instagram recently. And it said that Sancho was due a bonus in his Borussia Dortmund contract for the appearance he made for England against Iceland recently. But obviously now, we're determined to meet Dortmund's valuation. Obviously, it'll make him our most expensive signing and the most expensive English player in history. Throughout the course of this Jadon Sancho transfer saga, let's be honest, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block. Because Borussia Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation. Jadon Sancho remains our #1 priority target, and we confirmed, was it recently, that we are not giving up on the player unless he publicly says that he wants to remain at Borussia Dortmund. We know that he will be our next #7, because we know that he'll fulfill #7 really well, and obviously we have got #7 vacant at the moment. I've already outlined the reasons why I want Man United to sign Sancho, is because he'll dramatically improve us. He's predominantly a right winger, and Man United need a right winger. He's also got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford, and I think he'll exceed expectations in the Premier League. But Sancho said quite a few times that, you know, he wants to come to Manchester United if he does decide to leave Borussia Dortmund. Don't forget, was it last month, Sancho to Manchester United looked dead in the water, because obviously we missed out on the deadline to sign him, because Dortmund said we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. And then when he did go out on pre-season, then I actually fully disregarded Sancho coming to Manchester United. Obviously, you know, Borussia Dortmund were saying themselves they are convinced he will stay with them for at least one more season. And I also thought it was over because for such a long time we was not willing to meet Borussia Dortmund's asking price. And it said as well a few weeks ago that we'd abandoned our chase for the player until the summer of 2021. Now, I think Sancho is an exceptional player, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he's worth the what Dortmund are demanding, I think he's probably worth from between 70 to 80 million pounds at the top, the most. But I won't take anything away from Sancho. He's been a revelation since his arrival in Germany. Dortmund paid just £8 million in from Man City back in 2017. He's still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. His stats were very impressive last season, scored 17 goals and provided 17 assists. But don't forget, for a while, we have been looking at alternatives to Sancho because there's much cheaper solutions than him. We've been looking at likes of Douglas Costa from Juventus, looking at Robin Matondo from Schalke, Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona, Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich. We've looked at David Brooks before. But I'm very convinced now that Manchester United will sign Sancho. I really, really am convinced it will happen. But there's a few that I've spoken about in there. Fabrizio Romano's spoken about it quite a few times. He's saying the exact same thing though as what he said last month, Fabrizio Romano, because he said last month that Sancho had agreed terms and he was going to sign a 5-year deal with Man United, but obviously he said just after that talks had broken down. Christian Falk, he's spoken about the Sancho saga a few times. James Cooper spoken about it, was it last month? And James Cooper also tends to be close to Manchester United. But when it comes from, reliable, journalists and that, there tends to be a lot of trustworthy in it. And like I said, Fabrizio Romano is a very, very reliable Italian journalist. Like I've said to you before, Dortmund have let quite a few of their big names go in recent years. They let Aubameyang go, they let Ilkay Gundogan go, Mkhitaryan, Shinji Kagawa went at one point, Lewandowski, Ousmane Dembele, Matt Hummels, Pulisic. They've let all them players go of Borussia Dortmund. So yeah, that's the news on Sancho. Obviously, Solskjaer is demanding more signings at Manchester United because, like he updated you yesterday, he gave us an update on our summer transfer plans and he says we still remain active in this transfer market. So far, we have only made one signing in this summer transfer window, and that is obviously Donny van der Beek. Obviously, we got Donny van der Beek in a deal worth £40 million. We've paid just over 34 million up front with 4.4 million in add-ons. We know that Donny van der Beek has signed a 5-year contract with Manchester United, to keep at the club till 2025, and there's also an option of a further year. Donny van der Beek will be wearing the number 34 shirt and he will be making his debut for the club against Crystal Palace. I said to you earlier on, didn't I, what Donny van der Beek will bring to Manchester United. He'll add more depth. He'll score as goals because he's got good physical attributes, and I think he'll complement Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba fantastically well in our midfield. We'll probably play him as a box-to-box midfielder because that's his predominant position, but before he's also played as a holding midfielder, but not much, and he's also been deployed as an attacking midfielder. But yes, Solskjaer said he wants to make around 3 more signings after Donny van der Beek. Solskjaer, has been frustrated with the board recently. Main explanation is because of the lack of transfer business in this summer transfer window. And he's obviously been infuriated over the Jadon Sancho deal before as well. But Solskjaer's totally blameless because I think Solskjaer is progressing as Manchester United manager. And, he's even publicly admitted that Manchester United have got to spend money in this summer transfer window if we are to compete with the likes of City, Liverpool and now perhaps Chelsea. This summer transfer window has been open now for a while. And it shuts in under 4 weeks. Now there's the summer transfer window. And Manchester United have got quite a few things to do. Obviously we've got to get a centre-half in. Like I said, we need to get a left-back in. You know, we've also got to sell players because, quite frankly, there is still deadwood at the football club. You know, we're looking to get rid of the likes of Lingard, Pereira, Smalling, Rojo, Jones, Delors. You know, don't forget Sergio Romero is open to leaving the football club, because obviously Sergio Romero is now third choice goalkeeper because Dean Henderson has just recently returned, and Romero won't want to stay at Man United as third choice goalkeeper. There's obviously been rumours of Fred leaving in recent weeks, but Fred has recently told 442 that he wants to stay at Manchester United. That's my desire, and I don't want to leave. And he's always said he wants to be an important player and he wants to win trophies with the club. Galatasaray and Roma have been in for him in recent weeks. Galatasaray inquired about getting him on loan. Fred's been finding game time difficult since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes, and he might find game time even more difficult now that Donny van der Beek has come in. Because obviously our first choice midfield trio is going to be Van der Beek, Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. Plus now McTominay, I think, is our first choice defensive midfielder, so we're going to be changing his role. You know, Fred's been at the club a few years now. We paid £52 million in from Shakhtar Donetsk back in 2018. So we sell players in this summer transfer window, will generate money, and it will help us with our rebuilding process. There's also been rumours of Bay possibly leaving. I think Bay will stay at Man United at least for another season. He is one of our backup centre-halves. My element of concern about Bay is injury prone. There's uncertainty regarding Lindelof's future, but I think Lindelof will stay for at least another season. Even if we do sign a centre-half, if we sign a centre-half, Lindelof will be one of our backup centre-halves, won't he? This season's going to be Lindelof's 4th season at Manchester United. So there's things Man United have got to do. Solskjaer's obviously got a goalkeeping decision to make. We'll know next week what his decision is. Or has he already made his decision? Well, I was reading reports the other week, and Solskjaer said that Dean Henderson is not yet ready to become Man United's #1. Personally speaking, I think Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our #1 goalkeeper, because he's got that experience behind him, because he recently endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, and he was Sheffield United's player of the season. We got Dean Henderson at the age of 14, so he's been part of the club for several years. Don't forget, not so long ago, he signed a 6-year deal with Man United worth 120 grand a week. But, you know, the guy has been our #1 goalkeeper for several years. You know, this season's going to be David De Gea's 10th season at Man United. Like I said, he's had 7 good seasons out of the 9 seasons he's been with us, because in the last couple of years, he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he has made. De Gea has made 405 appearances for Man United in all competitions and 300-odd appearances in the Premier League. He has won everything domestically at the football club, and he has won individual awards reflecting on his good run of performances over the years. You know, we paid just over £18 million for De Gea from Atletico Madrid back in 2011, and I said if we'd have sold him in this summer transfer window, we'd have got £60 million for him, despite the fact that he hasn't been so good in the last couple of years. We may sell De Gea next summer, but he will definitely stay with us for this season. He really, really will. But when he does eventually leave Manchester United, I think he'll go back to Spain. The decision on the captaincy is being made. You know, Maguire's going to remain Manchester United captain this season. This season's going to be Harry Maguire's 2nd season at Manchester United. Last season was his 1st season at the club. Obviously, we've got Harry Maguire in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester last summer. So he's the 2nd most expensive sign at the club at the moment, and the most expensive centre-half in the world. Maguire was recently given extra time off for his arrest in Greece and his court case in Greece. Don't forget, he got given a suspended sentence of 21 months and 10 days, obviously, you know, for what he did. Yeah. But like I've said to you, I reiterate what I've said on my other videos, I think Solskjaer deserves more backing in this summer transfer window, and I don't feel as though he's getting backed enough. And Woodward has obviously said quite a few times that he's determined to back Solskjaer in this summer transfer window. and he's also assured his job is safe. You know, the Glazers have said they're determined to back Solskjaer. You know, Woodward's obviously been at the football club since 2012, and you know, the Glazers have been at the club since 2005. So Woodward's been with us around 8 years, and the Glazers have been with us around 15 years. But there's main explanations, obviously, why we've been critical of the board for so long. You know, obviously, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. Obviously, with us overpaying for players. We've given, obviously, some players contracts who we shouldn't have given contracts to. That's another one. Obviously, made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years. Poor selection of managers. Obviously, since Woodward's come in, you know, he's sacked 3 managers. Obviously, that was Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. But there again, you know, the managers that we've had, I don't feel as though they have been backed enough. You know, we have recruited a good 32, 33 players in. Is it since Ferguson left? And a lot of them haven't been the right calibre players for Manchester United. Don't get me wrong, there's some players who we had that we should have kept. That's another mistake Manchester United did. But yeah, you know, we've just basically got to get the signings that we want in, you know, because this season is big for Solskjaer, because this season is his 2nd full season at the football club. And we expect to enjoy a better season this season than what we saw last season, you know, because at the first part of last season we was absolutely appalling. You know, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. But then obviously since the arrival of Bruno Fernandes in January, we have seen an upturn in form. We are unbeaten in the league since January. We are unbeaten in our last 14 league games. We did also go on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions until Chelsea had beaten us in the FA Cup semi-finals. You know, and it has obviously been our best vein of form since Solskjaer was the interim manager. But Solskjaer knows this season that, you know, he's got to exceed expectations. If we do get a few more signings in, I think our expectations this season will be to challenge for the Premier League title. Maybe if we don't get any more signings in, maybe one of the expectations will be just to finish in the top 4 and get, you know, a qualification for the Champions League again. I think another one of the expectations this season will be to win a trophy, because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under the Solskjaer era. And Solskjaer has been at the football club now nearly 2 years, I think it is. You know, we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years, and this is the first time this has happened in just over 30 years. You know, but it's very, very imperative that we do have a strong start to this season. It really, really is. Palace on the opening day should be a match that Man United should win. Then we've got Brighton, that's another game we should win. But within our first 7 games, we've got Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham and Everton. They're all going to be very, very tough games. You know, but if things were to go wrong this season, then maybe Solskjaer would be back under pressure. It still wouldn't really resolve out if we decided to sack him if things went wrong this season. Because like I said, he does need more time at the football club, because it is a transition period at Man United. And it has been a transition period for a while. You know, last season was Solskjaer's first full season at the club. Obviously, he got us to 3 semi-finals, got us to the FA Cup semi-final, the Europa League semi-final and the EFL Cup semi-final. Also got us qualification for the Champions League, and I did say how important Champions League was for our players, attracting players and for the financial structure. And we also finished 3rd. We did also finish 3rd. You know, I think that actually the highest we've finished in the league since Ferguson's retirement was 2nd under Jose Mourinho in his first season. But don't get me wrong, I have seen improvements since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended into the club. You know, I think our recruitment's really, really improved. So far at the football club, Solskjaer has spent over £200 million, and he has brought, obviously, 6 players in. Obviously, he's made 5 permanent signings and obviously got Igalo on loan. He's also brought a few academy players into the football club, so it's good that, you know, more young players are coming in, and Obviously, you know, we've got a lot of good young players coming through at Manchester United. I think Solskjaer's also promoted the youth very, very well. You know, he's also got rid of a lot of, you know, players since he came in at Manchester United. You know, got rid of the likes of Sanchez, Lukaku, Angel Gomez. Loaned to Heath Chon out a few weeks ago. Recently loaned Dylan Levitt out. You know, James Garner is set to go out on loan. I think we'll loan Joe Pereira out again for another season. You know, the likes of Herrera, Fellaini, Damian, Valencia, Young. You know, they've all left the football club. And there's definitely no players that have improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era as well. Martial's done very, very well under him. Rashford's done very, very well under him. You know, he's been out of an ankle injury though, as Rashford. I think, you know, Greenwood had a good season last season. You know, Williams had a very, very good season. You know, could become our first choice left back in the future, maybe. He's actually, you know, more right-footed is Brandon Williams, so possibly could put him on the right, but obviously Wan-Bissaka is our first choice right back. I think Fred's really improved under him, McTominay's improved under him, Matic has improved under him. So yeah, Luke Shaw's also improved under him. So quite a lot of players have improved under him, but don't get me wrong, there's still improvements needed. You know, there's still certain players that need to improve because there were some players last season that were underperforming. You know, Maguire's got to improve, Lindelof's got to improve. Obviously, the likes of Bay and Shaw, they've got to improve their fitness. You know, Tuanzebe, one of our backup centre-halves, got to improve his fitness. I think he'll remain at Man United for this season, will Tuanzebe. Fossa-Mensah, he played a few games, didn't he, towards the end of last season. Don't think it's so bad, Fossa-Mensah, to be quite honest. You don't forget, he was out with injury for a while, was Timothy Fossa-Mensah. De Gea's obviously got to get back to his best. And Wan-Bissaka, we've got to see more attacking intent from him, because that's what he's lacking at the moment, that attacking intent. But his defensive contribution's always been very, very good. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth £50 million last summer from Crystal Palace. But I think he can be our right back for the next 9 to 10 years. I also believe Solskjaer's got to improve his decision making. That's another one. There's still aspects of our game in general that I've got to improve. This season we've obviously got to be more clinical. That means score more goals. Defensively, you know, we've got to improve as well. So you can see the areas where Manchester United are lacking. Some United fans think we need a striker. I don't think we need... Well, it's not the most essential area where we need to strengthen up. I think, you know, getting a centre-half in and a winger and a left-back's more of a priority than getting a striker in. We've scrapped our plans of signing a striker anyway because Solskjaer has a lot of trustworthy in Martial. Martial is now our number 9. But he's obviously got other attacking players around him, such as Rashford and Greenwood, and obviously, you know, Sancho if he comes in. So, yeah. By the way, we do play Aston Villa in a pre-season game tomorrow. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's give us a bit of team news on that. He's revealed that Luke Shaw's going to be available. Luke Shaw has now recovered from his ankle injury because he sustained this ankle injury towards the end of last season. Sustained a few injuries as a Man United player. I don't think Tuanzebe, though, is available. You know, so yeah, we do play Villa tomorrow in a pre-season game. Don't forget, we recently gave Mason Greenwood the number 11. Obviously, he's going to become the 4th Man United player to play in the number 11. We recently gave Brandon Williams the number 33 as well. So, analysing our squad, I think it's a good squad. It really, really is. And it's definitely good enough for a top 4 finish. But if we are to challenge for the title, you know, we need more signings. We have not won the Premier League since 2013. The last time we won it was in Ferguson's last season. But we haven't mounted any title challenge up in the last 7 years. But we are the most successful team in Premier League history because we have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier Leagues. Like I've said to you, the vast majority of this team's not Solskjaer's. Solskjaer's inheriting a lot of players here from the Jose Mourinho era, still inheriting a few players here from the Van Gaal era, still one player here from the Moyes era, and still a few players here from the Alex Ferguson era. So let's put that into the equation. But I think Solskjaer's handled things quite well, because obviously when he first got appointed in as Man United manager, he knew he had a uphill task, even though, he knows the culture of the club because he was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years. But as it's gone on, I think Solskjaer's really, really improved. Now he obviously knows his best formation. A lot this season he'll go with that 4-2-3-1 formation because he went a lot with that last season. He obviously knows now his best 11. Made a lot of rotation last season. That was obviously reflected on the injuries we've had. We hope that we don't get as many injuries this season as we did last season. That's another thing as well. So, yeah. So, anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.